Arunachal Pradesh's fame as a hotspot of biodiversity, natural beauty and vibrant culture is spreading across the country and the world at large. This state, in the remote region of northeast India, is filled with beautiful places of varied topography and tribes of diverging origins and beliefs residing together in peace and harmony. And thanks to a combination of these factors, it is fast becoming a hub of tourism and related activities. Yet, there are some tribes which are not known much outside their region and immediate surroundings. One such tribe in the eastern part of Arunachal are the Tangsas. Spread across the span of Changlang district, the Tangsas are known for their peaceful nature and friendly demeanor. The literal translation of Tangsa is hill people. This simple naming system of their tribe is quite common throughout the state, as most tribes of Arunachal have similar meaning of their tribe's name in their own languages.
Ami Tangsa manu. Tangsa bola kuatu itu 1948 te naam diya hoy. Etia nefa field political assistant officer gotoki chabang gotoki Chewang gotoki, Vendem gotoki, belako koise, hudise, Bipin Bo Guhai, eto field political assistant officer nefa, teo magatate hudise. Apalagak tu naga nelage, asar biawahar, thoka mela, kotha batara, dikhile noga nelage. Kutega brake ki kiba akta পৰিচয় আছে কিবা একটা আইডেন্টিফিকেশন আছে কওক বুলি কৈছে তেতিয়া গটুকিবিলাকে ক'ব পৰা নাই সবে মাথা তলত বুলি কৈছে তেতিয়া চাংলাঙৰ লংকে বস্তি গাঁওবুঢ়া একজন তাৰ নাম মিকডঙে কৈছে ও সাফুনাও তাং নাং তাং থ তাং মব কাটি Tang misa, isma tangsa balang mingwan pin. Tai mane, oh kokai bhai hot. Ami tu pahar pra ahisu, ami pahar manu. Itu nam dile bahal bolo kose. Bipin bo guhai kose, ki koli. Kita kose, oh ama balok tu pahar pra ahise, pahar manu. Pahar mane tang, sa mane manu, pahar manu. Oh, itu ठीक itu Tangsa hoy koi bole naam di dise lik bole Tangsa bole naam dile.
In spite of the common name, however, the Tangsas aren't one singular tribe in the strictest sense of the word, but rather a group of sub-tribes, each with their own individual characteristic, who nonetheless have similar cultural traits and have forged a collective identity over time. The same variation and divergence applies to their dialects as well. Although a few words and terms may be common between them, for most parts the dialects of the various Tangsa tribes are mutually unintelligible. Some of the more prominent sub-tribes of the Tangsas are Ronrangs, Kimsings, Mosangs, Moklums, Tikhaks, Ponthais, Longfis, Lungris, Lungchas, Taipis, Havi and the Yoglis, etc.
Kutike Tangsa manu kuatu itu bostu tu manu belak tu dress eke kapu kani pindak eke aure itu pindak eke usop bihu eke kotha dialog alap belek ho pare kintu buja buji niyo kothate kotha patibo moi mungre hoy mungre kotha patem hi mosang hoy mosang kotha patibo mungre aro mosang kotha patibo lungri tonglim logote bi mungre kotha patim mosang bi kobo niyo dialog te kobo enaka aru puya pator niyom usop bihu niyom eblak sob meli ase.
Historically, the Tangsas and Singphos are related and believed to have migrated from their ancestral homes together, but somehow got separated during the course of their journey.
Burma north side ote goi thake group jua boso Chingpho tu machina hukong valley te eto Chingpho belak tada rukhi gol আৰু ডাঙৰ ককাইটো পাহাৰ পিনে গুচি গ'ল তেতিয়া ৰাস্তা বহু হৈ গ'ল এইটো কাৰণে চিংফুবিলাকে এইটো এটা নদীতে ভাগ হৈ যোৱাৰ কাৰণে ভাগ হৈ যোৱা নদী কৈ পেলাই খাংখা বোলে একটা নদী আছে বৰ্মাতে এইটো খাং মানে খোজ খা মানে পানী খোজ হেৰাই যোৱা পানী কৈ পেলাই খাংখা বোলে এতিয়াও নদী একটা আছে বৰ্মাৰ নৰ্থ ছাইডতে আছে মানে তাৰ পৰা আমাৰ বৰ্মাতে ঘূৰি 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 কমচে কম 1000 বছৰ এনেকুৱা 1015 বছৰ ঘূৰি ঘূৰি তাৰ পাছতে দুই ভাগ হৈ গ'ল
The Tangsas adhere to different religions nowadays, such as Christianity, Buddhism, Rangphraism, and Hinduism, etc. Much like their counterparts in the other tribes across Arunachal Pradesh, the Tangsas were also traditionally animists at one point. Rituals and ceremonies were performed based on omens and signs, and accordingly different animals were sacrificed to appease the deities and the spirits. Rangphraism is a unique homegrown religion of the Tangsas, which is unlike anything else found in the indigenous tribes of Arunachal Pradesh. It is mostly centered around the mythical figure Rangphra, who is a supreme being and presides over all creation. Rangphraism has components of eclectic belief system with codified laws to guide the adherents and help them lead a moral life. Rangphra is often compared to the Hindu god Lord Shiva due to their similarities. The reality, however, is that Rangphraism and the number of its adherents is in a decline, as most Tangsas are now Christians of different denominations. A small but significant percentage of Tangsas also adhere to the Theravada sect of Buddhism. This is mostly due to living in close proximity with other Buddhist communities such as the Khamtis and the Singphos. The most important festival of the Tangsas is Momo. It's an annual agricultural festival which is celebrated at the end of the sowing season. The main theme of this festival is to pray for a bountiful harvest in the coming season. It is celebrated with much pomp and in unison by all the Tangsa tribes regardless of their religious affinity. Although the Tangsas have many dances for different occasions, one of the most popular dance forms is the Sa Polo dance and is the mainstay of any function or celebration within the Tangsas. It is a dance which is performed by women in group and in accompaniment to a gong which is rhythmically beaten in regular intervals.
সাপোলোটো আছে এইটো গাঁৱতে গ্ৰুপ মানে গাঁৱতে একটা ফিল থাকে মানে তাতে মানে ডেকা গাভৰু ল'ৰা ছোৱালীবিলাকে মানে গোটেই ৰাতি 5 দিন নাচে মানে 5 দিন যদি নহলে কিছুমান বিলাকৰ গাঁৱতে মানে এইটো মুখীয়াবিলাকৰ গাঁৱতে মানে এইটো ঋণ বুলি কয় এইটো ডাঙৰ থাকে মানে এইটো বৰষুণ চৰখন থাকিলে এইটো ঘৰ ভিতৰতে মানে নাচিব এনেকুৱা আহো চালে আহো ডালে মানে এইটো প্ৰশংসা মানে এইটো ফূৰ্তি কৰা মাত একতালি
The gong is an important artifact much valued within the Tangsa community. Not only is it used during festivals but also gifted during marriage ceremonies. It is a much sought after item since only a limited number of authentic gongs from the olden days survive today.
আমাৰ শাদী বিয়াবিলাকত বহুত ইম্পৰ্টেণ্ট এইটো যাৰ মানে কণ্ডিশ্যন ভাল আছে সিটো চুচৰালবিলাক খেচৰা থাকিলে ছোৱালী দামটো আমাৰ গংটো ইমান খাম আমাক দিব লাগে এইটো কাৰণে মানে এইটো গংটো এক নম্বৰ এইটো ট্ৰেডিশ্যনৰ মানে শাদী বিয়াতে বহুত ইম্পৰ্টেণ্ট মানে সেইকাৰণে ৰাখিবলৈ চেষ্টা কৰে যাৰ ল'ৰা আছে ছোৱালী বোৱাৰী আনিব লাগে বোৱাৰীৰ দাম দিব লাগে আমাৰ ফেষ্টিভেল যিমানটো আছে মলতে ককতে সেইটো বজায় মানে এইটো যোনে ডাঙৰ ৰাখিব পাৰে সি বজালেতো তাৰ আৱাজটো বহুত ডাঙৰ হয় বহুত দূৰলৈকে শুনিব ইণ্টাৰেষ্টিংটো তাতে এইটো যিটো গংটো যেতিয়া বজাব তেতিয়া মানে ডেকা ল'ৰাবিলাকে মানে এইটো কম্পিটিশ্যন কৰে গংবিলাকতো মানে এনেকুৱা এক হাতৰ পৰা গংটোতো বান্ধি ৰাখেতো ৰছী দি মানে টাঙি ৰাখিবলৈ বজায় নহ'লেতো হাতৰ পৰাতো সদায় ৰাখিব নোৱাৰে বজাব নোৱাৰেতো না হাতৰ পৰা এনেকুৱা দৌৰি পেলাই এনেকুৱা উঠাই পেলাই একবাৰ বজাব তাৰ আৱাজটো এনেকুৱা কৰি লাহে লাহে কমটি হ'বতো যেতিয়া খতম হ'ব আকৌ বজাব মানে এই গতিকে মানে কোনে কিমান বাৰ বজাব পাৰে হাতত দাঙি পেলাই এইটো কম্পিটিশ্যন হয়
Amongst the Tangsas, the traditional ornaments are usually worn by women and are of various kinds such as earrings, necklaces, bangles and leggings. The most valued necklaces are made from beads, which are of different kinds. One of the costliest beads used in such necklaces is called laksu and is usually purchased from across the border in Burma. These ornaments are not adorned all the time but rather saved for special occasions such as festivals and marriages. The older and more well kept the ornaments, the more value it has within the Tangsa society. The traditional Tangsa house is made from bamboos and local leaves as it is throughout much of rural Arunachal. The house is elevated on a stilt and the area below is used for keeping domesticated animals. The interior of the house is divided into three main parts. The front part is used as a common room with open entrance and a fireplace in the middle. It also doubles up as a guest room when required, and many times the walls of this room is adorned with heads of buffaloes, skulls of pigs and other animals killed on festive occasions or during hunts. The middle part of the house is off limits to visitors from different clans and is mainly used for domicile by the members of the family. It has a number of smaller compartments called jumong or himong, and each of them may have an individual fireplace of its own. The back part of the house, called jumchang, is where the equipment for pounding the paddy is kept. Aside from the main house meant for dwelling, the Tangsas also construct granaries, farmhouses, and in the olden days, a separate dormitory for girls. The traditional costume of the Tangsas was quite simple in the olden days. But with time, new styles and designs have been incorporated for both men and women, creating a mix of traditional touch and modern sensibilities. The Tangsas are expert weavers, and their handloom products are much sought after throughout the region. Beautiful and exquisitely designed, the Tangsa lungi and handbags are especially favored by people across the state and visiting tourists alike. The traditional skirt worn by the Tangsa ladies is called a khosa, and the pattern favored the most tends to be of geometrical shapes. It is mostly weaved in colors of red, black, white and blue. Checkered design is again a recurring theme in Tangsa dresses and is used in both female and male clothing. As it is with most tribes of Arunachal, traditionally the Tangsas are also primarily agriculturists. The lands inhabited by Tangsas are extremely fertile and very conducive for growing various kinds of crops such as paddy, millet and maize, which are traditionally grown by them. However, in the past few decades, the major cash crop for the Tangsas has been tea. Tea plantation has changed the economic condition of the Tangsas to a large extent and has contributed immensely to their growth as a group. The arsenal of the Tangsa warrior in the past was quite extensive. The weapon of choice, the spear, is wielded with a shield made from hardened buffalo skin. The traditional Tangsa sword is not only practical but also aesthetically very pleasing. Crossbow is yet another weapon which was used by the Tangsas during their warring days with deadly effect. These days, however, it is no longer used for any violent purposes or hunting, but simply as a means of sports and recreation. Another weapon of the Tangsas, which is now mostly used only for celebrations and recreation, is the antique gun, which is known locally as Khaja Banduk. Rare pieces of these guns from the turn of the 20th century still survive and are often used during festivals and other functions.
It is a ceremonial function to smash the carcass of the tiger as revenging action taken for its criminal behavior against the loss of human life, etc.
The traditional war dance of the Tangsas is a throwback to olden times and a testament to their warrior past. In the olden days, the Tangsas were extremely warlike and used to be perpetually at war with each other. The war dance was performed by the Tangsa warriors after a battle and to commemorate their victory. Thankfully though, these days it's only performed as a means of cultural display and to showcase the heritage of the Tangsas devoid of its historical connotations. The famed Stilwell Road, which was of much strategic importance and instrumental in the outcome of the Second World War in the Eastern Theatre, passes through traditional Tangsa territory.
Back in Southeast Asia, Mountbatten set up his Allied headquarters, choosing as its emblem the phoenix, the symbolic bird that emerged from the ashes of a destroying fire. Meanwhile, on the Lido Road, construction was progressing, with Colonel, later to become Major General Lewis A. Pick, in command of the engineers. The Lido Road is going to be built, said Pick. Mud and rain and malaria be damned. Simultaneously, Stilwell's Lido forces of Americans and Chinese were to speed up the Lido Road campaign with a drive on the strongholds of Mogong and Michino. On a historic day in January, Brigadier, later Major General Pick, commander of the Lido Road construction, met Lieutenant General Dan I. Sultan, who had succeeded General Stilwell as commanding officer of the India-Burma Theater, across the 1,044 miles of the newly completed Lido-Burma Road, now called the Stilwell Road, in tribute to the man who had dedicated himself to the building of this great project.
This iconic route was constructed through the cooperation and hard work of the Tangsas, and it played a big role in the Allied forces' victory over Imperial Japan.
Lido pra itu construction jitia korise amar Tangsa manu north east or sob mane even Tripura, Meghalaya, Manipur, Nagaland hi phale pra Assam kisman jaga ase mane jenega mane itu apnar Boro bilak itu porjonto mane sob mane jati pra mane olob aise mane ahi phale mane jitia mane route to প্ৰথমত মানে যেটো রুট বনাবলৈ জায়গাবিলাক জঙ্গলটো ব্ল্যাক ক্লিয়ারেন্সৰ কাৰণে জঙ্গল মানে কাটিং কৰাইছে মানে কাটিং কৰাই ফলে তাৰ পিছতে ইহঁতৰ মেচিনাৰী বিলাক আহিলে কি আহিলে এনেকা কৰি তাৰ পাছতে মানে এটো স্পেশালি বাহিৰৰ কিছুমান ষ্টেটৰ আছে এইবিলাক কমতি আছিল আমাৰ টাংসা মানুহবিলাক বেছি আছিল এই টাংসা মানুহবিলাক আৰু তাৰ পিছতে আপোনাৰ নিগ্ৰো বিলাক আৰু তাৰ পাছতে এটো হেৰি Chinese black. He black to asale, Tarbisote mane, he to root bonwarte asalemane. Amar manubilak Rasta to Mane, Junjunot Rasta Paramane, Yote, Rasta Loja Bole Bisarishe to Jungle Kotaise, Tarpasote mane, dropping or fill black bonabole disem. Dropping Kunkunja got them in a dropping Kurio Pare Mane to Yoto Kualua, Saman Bilak Russian Pani, Pra Loe play arms and ammunition, Jiman to assemble dropping Kuribo Parabilak. He black dropping Kuribo Karnemane. Itu feel black jungle black kota ise mane.
The battle was won by the Allied forces, but the loss of life was suffered by both sides. The World War II cemetery in Jairampur is a testament to the devastation of the Great War and the overall futility of war itself. even before the Northeast region was incorporated into the country, and before the British made their inroads into the region, the Tangsas used to trade with their neighbors in Burma since the olden times. That historical trade continues till date, and Pangsao Pass is the most prominent point of trade between India and Burma today. The annual Pangsao Pass festival is a celebration of that historical tie and also a means to encourage more trade between the two countries. The Tangsas have a rich heritage and a history which is both vast and extensive. And although they didn't always have a singular identity in the past, with time they have come together and forged one for themselves. Having shed their warring past, they have embraced a more peaceful way of life and transitioned into the model citizens of our times. The warriors of yesterday have become adherents of peace today.